So guys and girls, welcome to the #1 best value smartphone we've ever seen on this channel. If you do enjoy the video, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and with that being said, let's see what this thing can do. So welcome to the PPTV King 7, and at just $119, I genuinely thought it was some sort of practical joke when I read the specification sheet. It's mind-blowing. But let's start first with how it's built. To get one thing out of the way, the King 7 is a substantial phone. Not only is it solid and durable with pretty much zero creaking whatsoever, but it's pretty heavy. It's pretty thick too, not so much that it becomes overbearing though. It's got some nice curved edges so it still cups nicely in the hand, and the weight is evenly distributed across quite a large area so you don't feel it as much. The exterior of the phone has a nice silky feeling to it, and is grippy enough so you don't feel like you're going to drop it. Always handy. So then we have the screen, and this is where things get real because this is a 6-inch 2560 by 1440 display. That's pretty much unheard of at this price. On top of that, the colours, the contrast are all really not too bad either. It doesn't quite shout at you like a Super AMOLED panel might do, but it's definitely not bad. It's not one of the worst or the best Quad HD screens out there, but the fact the phone costing $119 has one at all is really something to run home about. On top of that, it's extremely responsive, just as much as my Google Pixel was, something I wasn't expecting. Rather confusingly, whilst the top and bottom bezels are almost non-existent, giving the phone quite a futuristic vibe, the side bezels are pretty horrible. Even below that shiny 2K panel, the King 7 has pretty much the best specifications you could possibly expect at the price. We've got a Helio X10 Octa Core CPU, as well as 3GB of RAM, and the results are stunning. It's very, very fast, good at multitasking, even impressively good at gaming. I tried quite a few different titles and it has no problem whatsoever with anything of the top-down genre. Moving into 3D games, whilst it doesn't always run at the maximum frame rate, the frames it does produce are fairly consistent, which still gives a smooth gaming experience. It also scores pretty well on Antutu, at about 53,000, which makes this a pretty difficult phone to not recommend even to pure gaming users. So unfortunately, it's not perfect. Probably the Achilles heel of this smartphone is the fact that it's running Android 5.1 Lollipop. And whilst that isn't really acceptable, to be honest I found I could cope. There was no real bloatware on there, and installing a custom launcher and some custom settings, suddenly you start to forget. Even in terms of its camera specification sheet, the phone amazes, capable of 13 megapixel photos and supposedly 4K video. Now whilst I can definitely vouch for the photos, they come out with a decent level of contrast, not too bad in terms of vibrancy either, and the detail is definitely there. Depth of field could be better, and doesn't cope particularly well in lower lighting conditions, but overall for the price, again, it's an impressive camera. The front-facing sensor was also really quite flattering, but unfortunately the rear video, whilst 4K in resolution, does lack clarity and has quite a noisy image. Now something I honestly quite appreciate is the company hasn't tried to market its speaker as some sort of hi-fi system like every manufacturer seems to be doing nowadays, but nonetheless it is still loud, capable, pretty bassy, and quite favourable for vocals. And to top it all off, we've got a 3610 mAh battery, which is very good in terms of standby time, but slightly less good in terms of screen on time, due to the power-hungry screen I suppose more than anything. But even then, you can still get just over a full day with heavy usage, or just over a week if you keep it on standby. So guys, there you have it, that is the PPTV King 7. For $119, I thought it was a joke, so I ordered it, tried it, reviewed it, and I'm here to tell you that it really isn't. It has some of the most impressive specifications for any phone under $200 and the performance to match. And whilst it isn't a perfect phone, the omissions are definitely excusable. I really hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to whack that subscribe button, that would really help me out. And with that being said, I'm Mrwhosetheboss, and I'm signing out.